So hello guys, what's up and welcome back to my YouTube channel. It's me, your girl Barrister Neze, and this is Nezeville. Today's story is about a lesson that many of we women learn too late. One that I have been enlightening us on, and I will continue to. I have hammered it severally in this Yul Edochie and his concubine Judy's case. It's simple. There is a difference, very significant, between being loved like a wife and being recognized by the law as a wife. And sometimes that difference only becomes clear when the relationship ends, either in death or divorce, in quotes, because you cannot be divorced when there was no marriage. Many women believe that if a man spends 20 years with them, has children with them, builds a home with them, she sacrifices her youth, her time, her energy for him, and he introduces them and parades them to the world as his wife, then they are his wife. Forgive me, but relationships are not judged by emotions when they end. They are judged by facts, they are judged by documents, they are judged by laws. And in Nigeria, time does not create legal rights. Children do not create marriages. Love is not a contract. Marriage is a contract, a legal institution, and confusing the two of them can turn out to be very expensive. The story that I'll be narrating today is the story of Helen Prest Ajayi. Now, if you are an old G on City Magazine and in common magazines of the 90s and the early 2000s, then you should already know of Helen. But I'll tell you, if you do not. Before we proceed, if you are new here, you're coming across my beautiful face for the first time, or if you've been watching us without subscribing, do not forget to, do not fail to, do not miss out. Do not gawk yourself and leave without subscribing. Do hit the subscribe button. It's just down there. You will see it. Subscribe. It is free of charge. Give the video a big thumbs up. Drop your thoughts down in the comment section as we engage, because it shows that you are understanding what I'm saying. And stay glued, for we have so much more coming your way. Don't forget to grab a copy of our book, The Unbroken Spirit. It is a perfect guide to self-awareness, spotting harm, rebuilding, self-reflection, and understanding a lot of integral details around love, marriage, and relationships, especially when it comes to abuse, how it starts, how it is enabled, and how it climaxes. You can scan this code to grab a copy, make recourse to the description box or in the comment section, or just send us book to info@nezeville.com. A member of my team is always on ground to assist with all the inquiries. Don't forget to enjoy our latest folktale story on our folktale channel. Link will be pinned down in the comment section. So let's proceed. Helen Prest Ajayi is a Nigerian lawyer, a former beauty queen, a writer, a businesswoman, a columnist, and an education entrepreneur. She hails from Rivers State in Nigeria. Helen was born on the 17th of September 1959, completed her A-levels at the International School in Ibadan, studied law at the University of Ife, now the Obafemi Awolowo University, and later earned a master's degree in law from King's College in London. A slender, charming beauty she was, and still is, should I add. Helen rose to fame after winning the Miss Nigeria beauty pageant in 1979 when she was only 20. Helen Ajayi Prest is a blend of old money and self-made money. She is widely reported to be the daughter of politician Michael Prest and the granddaughter of politician Otto Prest. Prest. She created one of the first mall-style boutiques in Awolowo Road, Ikoyi, back in the early 1980s. She is not a small somebody. Now, report has it that she was first married to businessman Jimmy Davis. The marriage produced 2 children, 2 daughters. But unfortunately, the relationship did not sail through. They split. So that's for Helen. Now, who is Dr. Ajayi, the man who will become Helen's second husband? Dr. Olutosin Joseph Ajayi was one of Nigeria's most recognized medical practitioners and entrepreneurs. He trained at the University College Hospital in Ibadan, earned a master's degree in cardiology in London, worked at the General Hospital in Lagos, at Kempta Hospital and Nursing Home, and then he established First Foundation Medical Center in 1982 and First Foundation Medical Engineering Company as well. Dr. Ajayi is very well known for introducing advanced medical equipment and healthcare technologies into Nigeria. And over the years, Dr. Ajayi built a lot of wealth and influence. Okay, before Helen came into the picture, Dr. Ajayi was married to one Adenike Ajayi. They got married in 1974, long before he founded the hospital and became who he was. You know, it's a wife of little beginnings, if you know what I mean. They have 5 children together, male and female. Dr. Ajayi and his wife Adenike's marriage began going through crisis at some point. He is reported to have left the matrimonial home around 1985, and so they became separated. Now take note. Take note of this. Separated, not divorced. And remember, as I taught us, separation or estrangement, even if it is for 50 years, does not end a valid marriage. Their union was never legally dissolved. So in the eyes of the law, she remained his lawful wife. Okay, I'm coming. 11 years later, in 1996, Helen and Dr. Ajayi conducted a traditional marriage in Calabari, Rivers State, where she is from. Now, if you check my hands, remember what it is for a word to be in quotes. I had that traditional marriage in quotes because remember again that I have told you that any form of marriage conducted during the subsistence of a statutory marriage which has not been dissolved. So whether it's a so-called traditional marriage you did, or you deceived yourself and did court wedding, that activity is at best a circus, an assembly of jokers and clowns. Legally, just consider it charity. You just decided to share rice and malt to people for free. You just went to waste your time and your money legally. Such a thing isn't deemed to exist or to have happened in law. Now you see why I say that Yul and Judy are not married. She is just a baby mama, a concubine, a mistress at best. It is no insult. I speak the law. So, side chicks, home wreckers, please take notes. And you see, this woman's case, we can't even call her a home wrecker because she came in over 10 years after the man got estranged from his legal wife. Yet, you will soon discover her fate, not to talk about the Jezebels who actively jump in real time to displace a legal wife. Continue. All right, let's proceed. So, Helen and Dr. Ajayi got traditionally married in 1996. Now, you understand why I'm putting it in quotes because of what I just explained. They had a child together, a daughter, whom they named Tomisi, and they stayed living together as man and wife for 25 whole years. From 1996 all the way to April of 2020, when he died after a deteriorating illness involving heart and kidney complications. Now, these are two women. The first one had started life with him, legally wedded under the statutes. They were together over a decade, built with him from the scratch, from nothing, gave him 5 children, and was estranged from him for 35 years until his demise. The second woman had been with him for 25 whole years, gave him a child, had been socially presented for decades as his wife in magazines, events, Instagram posts, even though the legal foundation for that presentation was seemingly absent. The second woman nursed him in ill health at old age to his deathbed when he fell seriously ill with hypertension, heart problems, and eventual kidney failure. Ladies and gentlemen, we will soon understand the distinction between social recognition and legal recognition. Okay, let's go on. As soon as Dr. Ajayi passed, his legal wife and her 5 children arose. By the very next month, the children of Dr. Ajayi's statutory marriage had applied to court for a coroner's inquest into their father's death. Now, if you do not remember, we discussed it during the death of Mohbad. I explained very detailed to you what a coroner's inquest is when we discussed Mohbad and his passing. A coroner's inquest is a judicial investigation that happens when the death of someone is deemed suspicious, unexplained, or unnatural. So, the older children of the late doctor asked for a coroner's inquest alleging foul play on the part of Helen. They said that one, they had not been properly informed of their father's illness. Our father did not die suddenly. He had an illness that was protracted. He was admitted in the hospital for over a month before his demise. So why were we not properly informed that he was terminally ill? Lady Helen, come out and explain our father's death. Something is fishy, something is amiss. Secondly, they claimed that Helen did not tell them on the very day that the man died, that they were informed of their father's death the next day. Why? Thirdly, they also alleged that Miss Helen had removed documents, smuggled documents from their father's office. Cutthroat family feud broke out. Burial could not hold. By December, by the end of the year, that 2020, when he passed, 8 months after his passing, the man was still hanging in the mortuary. Feud upon feud, trouble upon trouble. The children wanted to be in charge of their father's funeral arrangements, but the paperwork, the documents necessary to release his remains, were reportedly in Helen's possession. Remember that when he passed, she was the one that deposited his remains at the morgue. And so the children had sued her to court, taking her before a magistrate court over her refusal to hand over the documents to them. Guys, we have not even entered fighting for property, possessions, belongings, and estates. These court battles now still fighting for dead body. Who gets dead body? Who has the rights to the corpse? Okay, when the burial eventually took place on the 11th of February 2021, almost a year after that, it was a disaster. Come and see drama. A physical struggle literally erupted at the graveside over who had the right to perform the dust to dust rites. Both women were filmed struggling and fighting for the shovel. It was an eyesore.
Respect yourself.
Even we have done our best. If we are not doing it again, mommy has done it.
Listen to me. I'm calling the names. Please. I have. No.
You must be fair. This is Africa. Please, fair. Do it. Please. 25 years.
And so the legal and emotional question was, who could properly occupy the role of Dr. Ajayi's spouse in public after his death? Begin to drop your comments down in the comment section. Begin to drop your thoughts. From all I have narrated, begin to drop what you think. Who has a right to hold that shovel and perform the last rites and pay Dr. Ajayi the last respect as spouse? What are your thoughts? Adenike, who was in his life first, who had 5 children, or Helen, who spent the last 25 years of his life, nursed him in old age up until his death? Let us begin to drop our thoughts down in the comment section. And don't forget to subscribe once again if you haven't. There is so much you're going to learn from being a verified member of Nezeville. Within days after that public fracas, the dispute moved fully into the court of public opinion. Helen posted a long statement saying that she had been accused of murder, dragged to Panti police station, and subjected to several court and police processes. The children retorted, issuing their own public statement insisting that their mother remained the lawful wife and that Helen had never married their father, that she was just a mistress, a side chick at best, a companion, and a bed warmer. The legal battles intensified, both over his estate, his properties, and over who was to be legally recognized as his widow. By 2021, the next year after his death, the dispute had split into 2 major court cases. The first was the Federal High Court case involving Helen Prest Ajayi, her daughter Tomisi, the hospital, the First Foundation Medical Engineering Company, the CSC, and Adenike Ajayi, amongst others. The second one, which I will describe as the decisive one, was heard at the Lagos State High Court. And the central issue there was whether Helen or Adenike or both were Dr. Ajayi's wives. Ladies and gentlemen, only a few days ago, judgment was given, and it rested on 3 key findings. First, the Honorable Court held that Dr. Ajayi's marriage to his wife Adenike Ajayi remained legally valid until his death because it had never been formally dissolved, hence recognizing Adenike as his one and only widow. Second, the judge ruled that decades of separation does not end a marriage in law. So even though they were estranged and separated for 35 years, even if let it be 50 years until his death, a legal marriage still existed and exists. Thirdly, the court rejected Helen Prest's claim that she was married to Dr. Ajayi under Calabari customary law, that they had a traditional wedding, finding the evidence that she provided insufficient. Because remember, she presented a letter that she claimed Dr. Ajayi wrote to her mother expressing his intention to marry her as evidence of traditional marriage. That was deemed insufficient by the courts. And again, even if the customary marriage had been proven, it would still have been invalid because Dr. Ajayi was still legally married to his lawful wife at the time that purported marriage took place, hence making that second purported marriage null and void. This finding was especially significant because it changed what many saw as a dispute between a first wife and a second wife into something very different. The court did not simply rule in the favor of one wife against the other or over the other. It completely declined recognizing Helen as a wife at all. You have to be recognized as a wife before you can now take number 1, first and second and third. The court did not recognize Helen as a wife at all, making Adenike the only legally recognized spouse-in-law. Just as I laugh when I hear people out of sheer ignorance referred to May as Yu's first wife and Judy as Yu's second wife, when in fact he has no real wife. He has no wife. A polygamist without a wife. What he has is an estranged soon-to-be ex-wife and a concubine warming his bed. Okay. And that, my dear brothers and sisters, was the ruling of the Honorable Court. Helen has now appealed the court's ruling, challenging both the court's findings and its description of her relationship with Dr. Ajayi. However, until that appeal is decided and ruling is given in her favor, this High Court judgment remains the current legal position. Now, before I end this video, let me leave us with a few thoughts, because these stories are to learn from, not just to provide entertainment. They come with lessons that we should learn from and teach our children. To the men watching me, please listen. If you no longer want to be in a marriage, be courageous enough to end it properly. Don't keep one woman in a legal limbo while building a life with another. Don't leave loose ends and assume that they will sort themselves out. One day you may not be there to explain your intention, and the people that you claim to love will be left to fight over what you should have settled yourself. It is absolute bullshit and madness moving from one relationship and starting another without properly ending the first one. Do the right thing, my brother. If a marriage is over, follow the legal process. Ask questions. This is 2026. You cannot sit down and say, I didn't know. Ignorance is not an excuse. End things properly, so you do not leave confusion behind. So you do not leave women and children fighting court battles for decades long after you left, because you refuse to put your house and your affairs in order. Please learn to do things the right way. And to women watching me, I know that desperation is the middle name of some of us, but it's in your best interest not to be desperate to occupy the position of wife that you forget to verify whether that position actually exists. Whether there is really vacancy to be occupied. What is really fascinating about this case is that while one woman spent decades living publicly as Dr. Ajayi's wife, the other woman never stopped being the wife. Never stopped being his wife in the eyes of the law. She didn't spend her time chasing, fighting, creating public drama and squabbles. She stayed quiet, raised her children, and when the time came, at the appropriate time for her, she relied on the law, the powerful force of the law, and the support of her children to defend and assert her rights. There is a big lesson here. Some women watching me are so focused on occupying a position that they forget to secure the position. Sometimes people are enjoying the benefits of a title without ensuring that they actually possess the title. And sometimes the person everybody counted out is the person holding the strongest card. This story of Helen Ajayi Prest is not really about wealth or inheritance. It is about the consequences of unfinished business. And I do hope that we have learned a thing or two. Let us begin to drop our thoughts on what you think down in the comment section. Do you think that the court's ruling was unfair and that Helen should have been given some consideration? She spent 25 years with him. She was there with him down to his deathbed. Or do you think that the law is right, fair, and just? Let us get your thoughts down in the comment section. So guys, yes, we have come to the end of today's video. If you are new here, you're seeing my face for the first time, or if you've been watching us without subscribing, don't forget to hit the subscribe button. Give this video a big thumbs up, drop your thoughts down in the comment section, and stay glued, for we have so much more coming your way. Don't forget to join our premium and exclusive community where I curate special videos just for you around love, life, relationship, self-building, getting wisdom while staying grounded to your true, authentic, and original self. Scan this code to join, or you can join here on YouTube, even more preferably by clicking join just beside the subscribe icon. Now it's time to head over to our folktale channel and enjoy the latest powerful story that we have there. Don't forget to subscribe while at it. It's me, your girl, Barrister Neze, and this is Nezaville. I'll see you guys in our next one. Bye.